Ricola.
Ricola.
You're so much fun.
Hi, it's Mike and Steph from This Is Colorado.net, Season 2, Episode 3. Welcome to our podcast. Welcome, Stephanie.
Welcome, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
So excited.
Woo!
What you been up to?
Your husband is helping me put in a new floor in my laundry room.
Just because he's wonderfully handy.
Yes, he is, and I couldn't have done it without him.
Aw.
I went snowboarding on Monday, Copper Mountain.
Did you have an awesome time?
I did, other than the fact that I lost my GoPro halfway down the first run.
Oh.
But the lady from Copper Mountain called me the very next day. They found a GoPro. It wasn't mine.
Oh.
But it's good to know that people are actually turning in those kinds of things to Lost and Found instead of just swiping them. So
That is cool.
I've got hope.
Well, I hope it turns up.
What's new with you?
I got a brand new tattoo. Very excited about it.
I've seen it. It's impressive.
If anyone is interested in getting a tattoo from a fantastic shop, free plug here for Illustrated Gypsy, 3939 Perry Street on West Colfax. Tell them Steph sent you.
Very nice.
It's good stuff. But other than that, I went to a barbecue in February.
Which is rare.
It's just what we do here. I don't know. There was an outdoor tent and some heaters, and it was just fine. That was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
And I also, and you also, received our brand new t-shirts.
I'm wearing them right now. You can't see it, but I am.
It's really exciting. I was wearing mine earlier today until I was painting, and then I had to change. So I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty excited. So thank you to those who purchased t-shirts. We're going to have those Season 1 t-shirts available for a little while longer. Maybe till mid-April or so. So get yours before then if you want that Season 1 t-shirt.
Yeah. Get your order in. Woo!
Woo! Alright, so today we're going to talk about
An aerial adventure park, freeing the nipple in Fort Collins, and history of skiing in Colorado.
So the first thing we wanted to share with you was this place called Browns Canyon Adventure Park.
Zip, jump, swing, and crawl your way through 66 unique challenges suspended alongside the Arkansas River.
Arkansas? Really? At least give it Arkansas.
The park is owned and operated by Noah's Ark, the premier Colorado rafting outfitter with over 30 years of experience. Combined with Colorado rafting, or on its own, Browns Canyon Adventure Park is a Colorado must-do. So check it out.
The Aerial Adventure Park itself is made up of 4 different courses on 11 acres of Arkansas River front property with varying degrees of difficulty. They also have a huge 40-foot swing that lets you swing over the Arkansas River in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado. I took a look at some of their courses. Participants need to be of sound health, like no heart problems or pregnant ladies. And you have to be, I believe it was like 70 pounds, I think, or maybe it's 7 years. One of those two. So check to see, the website before you go, but it's at brownscanyonadventurepark.com.
I've seen it. It looks like a blast.
I would
Field
totally
trip.
do it, yeah.
Field trip.
Sounds like a good time.
For local news, a federal judge ruled Fort Collins can't enforce ban on women going topless.
What?
Hey, they got just as much right to be topless as men do.
Apparently, a federal judge said so.
Yep. A federal judge has ordered the city of Fort Collins to stop enforcing a policy that bans women from showing their breasts in public. It started with one woman asking, "If men can go topless, why can't women?" It's sexist because it specifically discriminates against females' breasts. Brittany Hoagland said in 2015, Hoagland, Samantha Six, and a group called Free the Nipple. Free the Nipple! Fort Collins made headlines across the country when they protested on the corner of College Avenue and Mulberry Street with nothing but opaque dressings covering their nipples.
What a protest. The Fort Collins City Council asked for public input, but ended up voting to keep the topless ban for women in place. But the council added 2 exceptions: breastfeeding mothers and girls younger than 10. After the decision, Hoagland, Six, and Free the Nipple, Fort Collins filed a civil lawsuit against the city, claiming that policy violates the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. On Wednesday, federal judge R. Brooke Jackson ordered an injunction preventing police and city from enforcing the ban.
The court essentially agreed that any statute containing the concept that women are prohibited from is likely unconstitutional, Attorney David Lane said in a statement. In his ruling, Jackson disagreed with the argument that topless females might distract drivers and cause traffic issues, disrupt public order.
Really, that's the best argument you got.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
They have every right to do it.
I agree. It appears that underlying Fort Collins' belief that topless females are uniquely disruptive of public order is a negative stereotype, that society considers female breasts primarily as objects of sexual desire, whereas male breasts are not, Jackson said.
The judge cited a researcher as stating that sexual objectification of the female breast leads to negative cognitive, behavioral, and emotional outcomes and contributes to higher rates of sexual assault and violence. The judge also disagreed with the argument that seeing women's breasts could harm children.
Well, that's good.
Nor has Fort Collins provided any meaningful evidence that the mere sight of a female breast endangers children. The female's breast, after all, is one of the first things a child sees, Jackson wrote.
It seems then that children do not need to be protected from the naked female breast itself, but from the negative societal norms, expectations, and stereotypes associated with it. Lane called the decision another example of the federal courts enforcing the Constitution in the face of the police and the city fighting against the Bill of Rights.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there's boobs up in Fort Collins. I mean, there's potential boobs, I guess.
Potential boobs.
It's an important distinction. I don't suppose now that, they're not going to be enforced that there will be throngs of topless women. There's boobs up in Fort Collins.
Yep.
Cool. So,
boobs.
What are we going to talk about now?
History of skiing in Colorado. According to the Colorado Ski History website, when people consider skiing in Colorado, areas like Vail, Aspen, Telluride, and other destination resorts come to mind. The truth of the matter is that Colorado hosted over 175 ski areas since it became a state in the mid-1800s. Today, only about 30 ski areas operate on a regular basis, leaving over 145 dormant sites.
Have you any knowledge of any dormant sites?
No.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either. I just thought skiing and snowboarding was such a booming business. I didn't see how you could go out of business.
Yeah.
Especially with the prices they charge nowadays. I mean, and the size of the mountains, they're huge. You could easily fit 175 ski resorts in the mountains, but not anymore.
At the dawn of the new century, most Coloradans remain unfamiliar with the great ski jumping tournaments in Norway, or the ski culture of the Midwest, largely contained within the Scandinavian populations. Nor are they aware of the improvements in ski equipment that evolved in Norway during the previous decade. Translation: we're skiing on some crappy stuff.
Uh-huh. The first mention of skiing in Colorado was from Enos Mills. He travels into the backcountry on skis and webbed snowshoes, measuring snowfall and charting weather conditions. In Spell of the Rockies, published in 1910, he describes out-skiing in avalanche. Mills lobbies tirelessly to have the pristine high country west of Estes Park protected by the federal government.
In 1905, the first American book on skiing, The Winter Sport of Skiing, is published by the Theodore A. Johnson Company, Maine. A catalog in back offers for sale several different models of skis, a harness binding, and push sticks, as well as traditional long alpine end pole. In the Midwest, Martin Strand and Axel Holter are also manufacturing finely crafted skis. But in Colorado, such good quality is rare.
My grandpa actually had a pair of the very first set of skis that were ever produced. And it was just a plank of wood with a varnish on it and a leather strap for your foot.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine skiing on that?
And they were like, I don't know, 11, 12 feet long.
Holy cow.
Yeah, because he had them in his garage leaning up against the wall, and they were huge.
Wow, that's bananas.
Yep.
In 1906, Ski Fashions decree that women wear ankle-length skirts. How's that, ladies? You want to go skiing in an ankle-length skirt?
It's just,
Screw your propriety. That is crap.
there's no mobility, there's no nothing when you wear a skirt that's that long.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In 1910, Peter Prestrud contours a small jumping hill from a mine dump at the mouth of 10 Mile Canyon in Summit County and uses it for recreational jumping. Later, he and Ivan Flood built the big jumping hill at Dillon, where Anders Hagen breaks a world's distance record in 1919. Anders Hagen. What a name.
Also in 1910, the first International Ski Congress, forerunner of the FIS, meets at Oslo, Norway, to promote and regulate international ski competition. The U.S. receives notice of the meeting too late to send a delegate, but sends a letter explaining that Americans are, quote, not contented with good form alone in a ski jumping contest. They want something more. They want long, daring leaps and the establishing of records.
A year later, Carl Howelson and Angel Schmidt get off the train at the summit of Rollins Pass and ski down the western slope 44 miles into Hot Sulphur Springs. Hot diggity dog! There they find a winter carnival in progress. They hastily improvise a small jumping ramp. Howelson soars off the ramp and flies 79 feet through the air, astounding the townspeople, who immediately plan a jumping tournament for February of the next year, 1912.
How cool. What a cool story. So me and my buddy Carl, we hopped the train and got off at Rollins Pass, and then we skied for 44 miles up and down terrain of the Rockies.
Yep.
And get in town to the Hot Sulphur Springs to find a winter carnival.
And they crashed it.
Right? They totally come in and they're like, let's make this small ramp. Let's do it. All right, dude, that sounds like a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They create this ramp, and then one of them flies 80 feet in the air. I bet the crowd was like, oh my God!
Right? This is America.
Right? What a cool story.
We like our, everything bigger in America.
And I like that when we were talking to the international skiers, we're telling them, nope, we need records. I want my name. Write my name down. I did something cool.
Yep.
I'm going down in history.
Oh, yeah. In 1912, Hot Sulphur Springs hosts the first official winter sports carnival in Colorado to include a ski jumping tournament. Special train is run from Denver. The Denver Press reports on the sensational new sport, and the ski sport is born in Colorado. Denver Post, January 7th, 1912. The Hot Sulphur Springs ski tournament continues until the onset of World War II.
The big snow of 1913 goes down in the record books as one of the worst storms of the century. The 5-day blizzard paralyzes Denver, the Front Range, and the mountain communities as far west as Breckenridge. But skiers glide easily over the snowy streets. George Cramner watches Carl Howelson and other skiers sliding down Capitol Hill and stops to inquire about the long runners. Cranmer will later take up skiing himself, becoming manager of Denver Park System and be the moving force behind the development of Winter Park. That's pretty cool, skiing down Capitol Hill.
Yeah, and the Cramner lift is still open at Winter Park.
That's awesome.
In 1915, Enos Mills, hard work pays off. Rocky Mountain National Park is dedicated and will play a major role in the history of skiing in Colorado. In Steamboat Springs, a new jumping hill is contoured under the watchful eye of Carl Howelson and christened Howelson Hill in his honor. The new facility is recognized as being extremely fast. In 1921, the Denver Rocky Mountain Ski Club is successful in bringing the National Ski Championships to Genesee. Thousands of spectators make the trip up the canyon to watch the jumping. Carl Howelson of Steamboat Springs wins first prize in the pro category. Peter Prestrud is Colorado amateur champion. Lady ski riders put on a jumping exhibition.
I like how everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Men and women in 1920s.
Yep.
In 1923, the first 4th of July ski jumping tournament takes place on St. Mary's Glacier. The tournaments continue through the 1930s, with Louis Dalps winning several titles. Now, that's totally Colorado, right? Skiing in July?
Mm-hmm.
Totally legit.
Especially on St. Mary's Glacier.
Yeah.
It's way up high. In 1924, Telluride skiers board the Rio Grande Southern for a ski outing at Lizard Head Pass. Or closer to home, they ski Bear Creek Canyon. Swedish and Finnish miners working at the Black Bear Mine in Telluride ride tram buckets to work in the morning and ski home after work. Caesar Schuden crosses Rocky Mountain National Park on skis with Norton Bindings and Barney Lakehook to Grand Lake, where they help Grand Lake skiers organize a ski club. Grand Lake's first jumping hill, which can still be seen across the lake, dates from this period.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like how they ride the tram buckets to work
And ski home.
and ski home.
If I lived up there, I'd do the same thing.
It makes total sense. In 1929, the University of Denver hosts the first collegiate ski meet ever staged in the West. Schools participating include Colorado College, Aggies, now Colorado State University, CU, Colorado State Teachers College, now the University of Northern Colorado at Greeley, Western State, and Mines.
In 1934, Grand Lake holds its first elementary school ski tournament on the hill by the schoolhouse.
How cute.
Skiing becomes part of the physical education program. Also that year, Thor C. Groswald begins manufacturing skis in Denver. In 1939, he is licensed to manufacture split keen skis and becomes one of 3 manufacturers to supply skis to the 10th Mountain Division troops during World War II. I like that skiing was part of the phys ed program back then.
I think that's cool, just having a ski tournament on the hill by the schoolhouse.
Yeah,
What a great way to expose kids to a really fun thing.
exactly.
That's cool.
They just don't do it like that anymore.
Nope. On December 21st, 1936, Sun Valley opens with the world's first chairlift, a single. So 1936 is the first chairlift.
Mm-hmm.
In 1937, the Climax Molly Bendham Company develops a ski area on Chalk Mountain on Fremont Pass. A rope tow is put in and floodlights line the 1,500-foot slope for night skiing. The Climax ski area closes in 1960. But what a cool era. Because you imagine the lights that they had at the time were, they probably weren't very bright. But night skiing in 1936, that's the first time that happened.
I've been in Colorado my entire life, and I've been skiing since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've never been night skiing.
Huh. In 1940, Winter Park, formerly known as West Portal, is dedicated on January 28, 1940, and becomes the crown jewel of Denver's mountain park system. In April of 1942, after the U.S. had entered World War II, construction starts on Camp Hale at Pando. The ski troops move into quarters in November. The Army constructs the world's longest T-bar, 6,000 feet, at Copper Hill on Tennessee Pass, where the recruits learn to ski. Then in 1944, the Glen Cove ski area on Pikes Peak is turned over to the military for the duration of the war. Camp Carson and Peterson Field use the ski area for physical training exercises. Don Lowry and the Pikes Peak Ski Club host the first all-military ski meet in history at Glen Cove on April 23, 1944. 7 military installations are represented, with Camp Hale taking 9 of the 10 first places. Barney McLean skiing for Buckley Field in Denver takes 5th.
In Aspen, the longest chairlift in the world, a single, begins operating on December 14, 1946. In 1947, an AP article described Steamboat Springs as Ski Town, USA. Ski Town, USA! And the label sticks. In 1987, the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club registers it as a trade name. Also in 1947, Klaus Obermeyer, a popular Aspen ski instructor, founds America's largest skiwear manufacturing firm.
He's just lording over it.
Yep, and they actually have a distribution plant here, I want to say I-70 in Tower.
Huh.
So,
Nice.
and it's right off the highway. You can see it. It's nice.
You can see it. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
In 1949, Winter Park gets flushing toilets.
Ba-whoosh!
Just let that sink in for a second. Good Lord. 1949, flushing toilets. And new emergency phone service. Welcome to the 20th century. Oh my gosh. At this time, many of the 10th Mountain Division veterans have returned to Colorado, where they are making an impact on the state's ski industry. The Denver Post of January 9th, 1949 reports, much of the new skiing enthusiasm in Colorado is a direct result of the U.S. Army's 10th Mountain Division, which trained at Camp Hale near Leadville. Ex-10th Mountaineers are bobbing up all over the Continental Divide. Some are aiding in the noble efforts of the National Ski Patrol, some are instructing, others have installed ski tows and opened new areas. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. In 1951, Dwayne Vanderbush reports in A Land Alone that only 4 ski areas in Colorado operate daily: Arapahoe, Winter Park, Aspen Mountain, and Loveland Basin. He says 175,000 lift tickets are sold statewide. So in the 50s, 175,000, that's
A substantial number.
very substantial.
Quite a bit of people participating in the skiing.
Exactly. And that just goes to show you how popular it has become over the years.
In 1957, the Flying Finns wow 7,000 spectators at Steamboat Springs Winter Carnival with their new torpedo style of ski jumping. They lean far over the tips of their skis with arms locked to their sides. Did everybody just see the Olympics in their head? Because I did.
Yeah, totally. July 6, 1958, James Temple breaks ground for the new Storm Mountain ski area in Steamboat Springs. Between 1958 and 1961, he secures options to buy 827 acres of meadowland at the base of the mountain. Champagne powder is the descriptive phrase used to promote the area. He gives credit to Kremling rancher Joe McElroy, who said the fluffy, dry snow was lighter than champagne bubbles. That same year, Magic Mountain ski area operated by Foothills Skiing Corporation, Inc. opens near Golden. Although it operates just one season, it is noteworthy for introducing the first snowmaking equipment in Colorado. It sells the snowmaking equipment to New Broadmoor Ski Area. The tows are sold to the New Indian Hills, also known as Geneva Basin, ski area.
I think that's pretty neat that champagne bubbles or champagne powder is a uniquely Colorado description.
Yep. I've ridden champagne powder and it is so nice and so soft and so fluffy.
It's crap for making like snowballs. You can't make snowballs with it, but it makes killer snow angels.
Yeah. Killer snow angels, and when you're like on a snowboard, it's just like surfing. All you hear is that whisper of the snow going underneath your board. It's not like on a groom trail where you hear the entire run.
Yeah.
But you're just like floating on a cloud.
That's cool.
The further you lean back, it's just it's awesome.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I enjoy the description. Many small areas across the state had their birth in the 1950s and several local communities, but most only survived a few years. A few of the ghost areas operating during the 50s include Grand Mesa, Mancos Hill, Baker Mountain near Kremling, Frosty Basin Ski Area near Granby, Pikes Peak, Ski Dallas on Dallas Divide, Redstone, and Ski Idlewild at Winter Park. I just like the Frosty Basin name.
Yeah, that's
fun.
It is fun. 1962 is a watershed year for Colorado skiing. Millions of investment dollars pour into the state. During the next decade, 9 destination resorts will be built. Vail Mountain opens December 15th, 1962, with a Bell Gondola lift, the first gondola in Colorado. In 1963, the National Ski Jumping Championships are held at Howelson Hill. Gene Kotlarak breaks the national jumping records twice with jumps of 318 feet and 322 feet. ABC's Wide World of Sports televises the event.
Okay, so 2 things there. 9 resorts in 1 decade.
Yeah.
That no wonder why environmentalists and people that care about the land were like, whoa!
Yeah, you guys
hold the phone.
You need to get this in check, and we need to put some regulation on it.
Well, I don't know if regulation's the best idea, but trucking all that stuff up there, like, just the trucks alone is a disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. That's a lot. And then also, the previous record, or maybe it wasn't the record, but
It
when
was-
when he started jumping, we were at what, 80 feet,
Yeah.
79 feet. Now we're up to 322 feet. So
Yeah.
things have come a long way in the last 50 years of skiing.
Well, and that
there.
was back in '63 that he set those records.
Yeah, I bet they're even crazier now. From 79 feet to 322 feet.
It's pretty damn.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, big time.
In October 1963, Aspen's streets are paved. Now let's
Hallelujah.
think about that. Think about mountain roads with all this traffic going up and down to go skiing.
Well, and in 1963, I mean, they got a late start on paving their streets.
For real. I think everything down in the metro area was pretty much paved.
Yep.
Cross-country skiing movement quietly begins during the mid-60s. That's kind of a play on words, right? Because cross-country skiing's really quiet, except
Yep.
for that noise.
Yep.
I get it.
July 4th, 1965, Pando, where the 10th Mountain Division troops trained during WW2, is officially closed as an Army base. The 10th Mountain veterans hold memorial services at the top of Tennessee Pass, where a granite monument is dedicated to the fallen comrades. In 1970, the handicapped ski program that originated at Arapahoe Basin in 1968 finds a home at Winter Park. Under the directorship of Hal O'Leary, it becomes the largest and most successful program in the U.S.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
1971, Aspen's 25-year-old number one lift, a single chair, is torn down. That same year, freestyle skiing is born in New Hampshire. The budding discipline consists of mogul skiing and trick skiing on a gentle slope. Freestyle turns into hot dogging in the early 1970s as skiers with little or no training grandstand for bucks with ever more sensational aerials.
I just see the old ladies screaming, "Damn you hot dogging teenagers!" In November of 1972, a referendum on the Colorado state and Denver ballots is passed which prohibits Colorado or the city of Denver from funding the 1976 Olympic Winter Games. Beaver Creek, the designated alpine site for the Denver Olympics, becomes the focus of struggle between development proponents and environmentalists.
I think it's cool that we said no to the Olympics, personally.
I do too.
Because I've seen, like, any time a country holds the Olympics, the aftermath is crazy. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of destruction just from housing so many people. And yes, it's a great boom for the economy for a little while, but the stadiums and stuff, like, you look in Atlanta or Salt Lake, like, the facilities are just, like, rotting away.
Yep.
What a waste.
Yep.
So I'm glad they said no.
Me too.
Copper Mountain opens on November 15th, 1972, with 4 double chairs, one of which is Colorado's first enclosed bubble. 1973, the era of hot dogging produces 2 aerial accidents that permanently cripple 2 competitors. Top competitors meet during the summer of 1973 and form the International Freestyle Skiing Association. Under the new rules, aerials are restricted. In 1974, the top freestylers form another organization, the Professional Freestyle Associates.
Sounds so professional.
Really, they're associates.
1973, the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, funded under the direction of the Forest Service, begins to issue statewide warnings of high avalanche danger. In 1983, the center becomes part of the Colorado Department of Natural Resources. Funds are secured from a consortium of public and private sponsors. Safety first.
1974, Crested Butte launches one of the first telemarking races in the country with the tough Al Johnson Uphill and Downhill Memorial Race. The event is named for Al Johnson, a mail carrier of the last century who traversed the Elk Mountains on skis.
It's pretty tough.
That's pretty... A mail carrier delivering mail by skis.
Yeah.
He better have got some pretty good Christmas bonuses, I'm just saying.
Christmas bonuses, retirement, I mean...
Birthday, I don't know.
Yeah, total. 1975, a ski streaker disrupts the Thunder Mug free-for-all race at Steamboat Springs. Traditionally held since 1964, on the last day of the season. Streakers pop up at other ski resort or ski areas as well.
It's a thing. It's been a thing since 1975.
I believe the last day at Breckenridge, it's like pajama day.
Well, there's a little bit of conservatism there. That's good.
And when I say pajama day, I mean like bras and panties. And
I said a little. Oh, that's funny. 1976, to celebrate America's bicentennial, several skiers at Vail found the Colorado Ski Museum. A formal dedication is held in 1977 with the first Hall of Fame members inducted. In March 1976, an accident with the Bell Gondola at Vail results in 4 fatalities and 8 injuries. Nevertheless, skier use soars over the 1 million mark, a first for one ski area in Colorado.
that is just crazy. That a resort in 76 was over the million skier mark.
Yeah.
Back in the 30s, what did we say? It was 175,000, or was
Yeah.
that the 50s?
107. I think it was the 50s. 51.
175,000. So it grew.
It exploded.
Yeah.
Those 10 resorts, or those 9 resorts they put up, really had a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the impact all those people. And since then, it's been built up and everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
every little crevice is filled in.
Yeah.
You know.
July 28th, 1977, a groundbreaking ceremony takes place on the site of Beaver Creek Village. President Gerald Ford takes part in the ceremonies. Over the next 3 years, Bob Parker will deal with the strictest environmental controls ever imposed on ski area development.
See, all that development happens, and then Coloradans are like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yep.
Hold the phone."
Yeah, it's fun, but we've got to have some rules,
That
some limits.
we gotta be respectful.
Yep.
Number 1, all right? A snow drought in the Rockies is the worst in 40 years. Colorado ski areas lose 78 million and post a 36.6% decline in skier days with a 50% drop in business. What kind of business can survive that?
None.
Seriously, that's a big hit. Areas on the Front Range fare best. Steamboat, Telluride, Geneva Basin close in February. Keystone stays open because of greater snowmaking capability and posts a 5.8% one gain.
It's pretty good.
When
When everybody else is going out of business and they're posting gains, even a 5.8% gain.
Yeah, well, they're
That's
not
pretty
losing
damn good.
36.6 decline, you know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
World-class competition in freestyle in this country flips out, but is still going strong in Europe. One source says 14 paraplegics or quadriplegics are a result of aerial accidents. Insurance dries up. The competition committee of the National Ski Association of America votes to ban aerials. I would too.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. 14 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Maybe you should not do that, humans. Okay.
probably. Jake Burton, the father of snowboarding, moves to Stratton, Vermont to pursue his dream of designing snowboards. He makes 350 boards at night after bartending during the day. His friends sneak up the mountain at night to test because snowboards were not allowed. Sells for $88. A good snowboard nowadays can run you from $400 to like $700.
Wow.
And that's just for the deck.
Yeah, that's not all for everything else you need to operate it.
Yeah, bindings, boots, and yada yada yada. Anyways.
But that's pretty cool. I like that it was not allowed, so they had. I mean, I'm not afraid. Let me rephrase that. I think it's cool that his friends snuck in to go test his snowboards, even though they weren't supposed to. Like, what good friends? They're risking a lot.
Well, and back then they didn't have all this high-tech equipment like video cameras, security cameras.
Right. We're talking about the 70s.
Yeah.
So they could probably get away with it.
Exactly.
1978, Aspen Skiing Corporation is acquired by 20th Century Fox. The outstanding shares of corporation stocks are purchased for $48.6 million, or $45 per share, the largest transaction in the history of skiing. Then Summit County launches the Summit Telemark Series. The series affiliates with USSA in 1984 and eventually becomes known as the Rocky Mountain Telemark Series.
1979, It's going to cost a small fortune to ski this year. Full day lift tickets run as much as $16 at Aspen.
As much as $16. I mean, we need to account for inflation, that's for sure.
True.
But how much did your ticket cost you last time you went?
I went on Monday and it was $150 for a full day lift ticket.
It's going to cost a small fortune to ski this year.
Good thing we had BOGOs for Copper Mountain.
Nice.
Because I wouldn't have paid $150 to go snowboarding.
$75 a person's not so bad if you split it down the middle.
No, but I can remember being like 18 and they were like $45.
Yeah. It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
In 1979, a Skier Safety Act is passed by the Colorado General Assembly. The bill establishes reasonable safety standards for the operation of ski areas and defines the duties and rights of skiers using the areas.
Also in 1979, 7 Colorado residents, one of whom is Pepe Gramshammer, quietly purchased a dormant tract of land called Arrowhead at Vail and plan to develop it. A residential section is planned as well as an 18-hole golf course. I'm there. If I can snowboard and golf,
Life is good.
Yeah, life is very good.
Life in Colorado is good.
And it's all downhill from there.
So another resource I found in looking for history of skiing here in Colorado is the skimuseum.net. It's the Colorado Ski and Snowboard Museum and Hall of Fame. They have lots of really cool information on the 10th Mountain Division.
Mm-hmm.
They have equipment evolution displays, Colorado skiing timeline, snowboard archive, and the Colorado Snow Sports Hall of Fame. Admission there is free, though donations for adults of $3 are requested. Open daily from 10 to 6, located on the 3rd level of the Vail Village parking structure at 231 South Frontage Road East in Vail. Call 970-476-1876 for details.
I remember back in the mid-90s, everybody else was conforming to snowboards being allowed on the mountains because they weren't allowed for the longest time. And Aspen was the last resort here in Colorado to allow snowboarding on their mountain.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it's all them damn yuppies.
Well, at least those teenagers aren't hot dogging things.
Right? Damn hot dogging teenagers.
What did we learn today, Mike?
Colorado has a swing that tosses you out over a river by 40 feet, which would be fun.
Yeah. You can score second base by driving through Fort Collins.
Woohoo! Free the nipple! Skiing was the major mode of transportation during winter in the mountains up into the 1930s.
Now that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The U.S. Army's 10th Mountain Division was a major factor in establishing the ski industry in Colorado.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those, for the 10th Mountain Division, who knows where skiing would be today. Hats off to you guys. Winter Park didn't get flushing toilets until the 1950s.
That's disgusting.
Yep, but we all know that old saying, shit rolls downhill.
At least, I mean, okay, so the mountains were selling 175,000 tickets, and they didn't have flushing potties until the 50s.
Oh, man. I guess that's why Hot Sulphur Springs smells the way that it does. Because it's down below Winter Park.
It rolls downhill.
Yep.
Well, anyway, thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you. This is Colorado.net, helping you create a day to remember.
We are always interested in what you, the listeners, have to say. If you'd like to share your experiences, adventures, destinations, unique Colorado eats, or people causing positive change who are passionate about what they do, tell us more at thisiscolorado.net or leave us a message at 720-733-1231 and we might feature it on an upcoming episode.
When you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got.
If you found value in this episode, do us a favor and tell a friend. Completing our listener survey is a great way to give us feedback.
All of our links from this episode are in the show notes or at thisiscolorado.net. From one Coloradan to the next, this is Mike and Steph saying, Keep it colorful, Colorado.